The drum. Bassline. Music. Music. The drum. Baseline. Backstabbers wanna stab them with daggers. These slackers, they claim they're rappers and actually act like faggots. You silly rabbits, you maggots. What I got, you don't have it, so just accept it, respect it, cause on the mic I'm a savage.
Muy buenas, ¿qué tal, gente? ¿Está cancelado? No, ahora. Yo creo que sí, que ahora está todo bien colocado. ¿Qué tal? Muy buenas, bienvenido a un directo. Vamos a ver un momentito si se me oye. Estoy aquí. ¿Se me oye bien, no? Perfecto, ¿qué tal? Muy buenas, Tony, ¿qué tal? Me alegra verte por aquí. Pues nada, Treehouse, hoy dentro de un ratito vamos a estar aquí en directo. Estoy mirando si van a poner una versión subtitulada en español en el canal YouTube de Nintendo, pero parece ser que no lo han puesto todavía. Y todavía no ha empezado vamos, que todavía no está la emisión con la cuenta atrás para dejarla puesta. Y nada, espero los que estéis por aquí que hayáis visto ya los dos gameplays del Tokyo Game Show que traduje, están subidos en el canal, ¿vale? Lo tenéis en las listas de reproducción, son fáciles de encontrar los dos. Y la verdad que están muy interesantes. Y con el tráiler que anunciaron ayer, que, oye, podríamos verlo, ¿no? Ya que estamos aquí, podríamos verlo. ¿No creéis que sí? Venga, vamos a aprovechar. No sé si lo habéis visto, pero ayer anunciaron un tráiler y la verdad es que está muy muy bien, ¿eh? O sea, a mí me dejaron con ganas de mucho más. Vamos a quitar esto de aquí, que eso ahí no pega. Fuera. Vamos a ver. Cambiamos de toma. Vamos a empezar a practicar con esto. Mira qué estupendo, ¿eh? Maravilla. No sé si lo habéis visto, pero es una pasada. Voy a colocar un segundo. Bueno, vamos a comprobar que el sonido de aquí se ve rápido. No, no se escucha la transmisión, el sonido, no pasa nada, se cambia aquí rápido y raudo. Es aquí, ¿no? Espérate. Sí, se ha escuchado. Vale, perfecto. Pues nada, vamos a ver un momentito. No sé si lo habéis visto, pero es la leche. No lo había visto con vosotros en directo. La verdad me quedé con ganas, pero bueno, estaba liado con otras cosillas, entonces no he podido meterle caña. Pero vamos a verlo un momentito.
Lo diré solo una vez. El deber manda. Prométeme que no descuidarás tu obligación.
El doblaje es la leche.
Un buen investigador jamás debe rendirse mientras haya un atisbo de esperanza.
¡Hola! ¡Chupichuli!
Esto es igual que el juego traducido.
Tenemos un montón de trabajo por delante.
Es la leche, es que la leche, es que la leche. Bueno, aquí ya lo hemos visto. Es la leche, en serio, señores. Me encanta, es que tengo unas ganas de que salga ya el Hyrule Warrior. Estaba viendo por internet o eso estaba leyendo, aunque no lo he encontrado personalmente, ha sido más conversaciones de otra gente, que se está criticando mucho el tema del chupichuli. La traducción en texto del juego, cuando estás jugando, ella lo dice muchas veces, o sea que es algo que han mantenido. No sé a qué vienen las quejas ahora, pero bueno, esto es normal. Creo yo que ahora con todo. ¿Qué hay? Bueno, por cierto, en la descripción del evento dicen que hablarán de Pikmin y Hyrule Warrior. Me temo que es en ese orden, ¿vale? Primero veremos cositas de Pikmin. Que en verdad Pikmin 3 ya, a menos que hayan añadido algo nuevo y se lo hayan guardado hasta ahora para anunciarlo, las diferencias o la novedad que va a traer respecto al otro. Quién sabe, a lo mejor te dicen que te cascan el uno y el 2 dentro del cartucho, ¿sabes? A saber, capaces son. ¿Os imagináis? Una trilogía de Pikmin. Aunque el aniversario de Pikmin es el año que viene, conjunto al Zelda. Creo que son 10 años o 15 años de Pikmin. No más. Son... El aniversario es el año que viene, de 15 años de Pikmin, el año que viene. 15. Entonces ahí sí hay posibilidades. Perdonad por la resolución, pero es una cámara HD y con el zoom del autoenfoque pues se ve un poquito raro, ¿vale? Lo siguiente que invertiré en el canal seguramente con el micro este, con la Nvidia, puedo aguantar perfectamente. Será en una cámara Full HD para evitar estas cositas y que se vean mejores los colores. Ahora mismo tengo ahí varios truquitos puestos para que se vea curioso, porque si no... Vamos a ver. Y bueno, Tony, ¿tú qué te esperas de esto? ¿Y quién va a andar en directo? No sé, espérate, a lo mejor es el chat que no me llegan todos los mensajes, que ya pasa en otras ocasiones. Aquí eras, ¿no? Vamos a quitar volumen. No, vale. ¿Qué esperanzas tenéis con este Hyrule Warriors? Yo en tema de trasfondo, la verdad es que espero muchísimo. Me gustaría que mostraran, que yo no sé cuándo lo van a hacer, los modos extra que traerá, ¿vale? Si tiene algún otro modo, pero creo que no. Es una pena, ¿eh? Me gustaría muchísimo que enseñara a ver qué hay. En lo que se conoce en otros juegos como el modo libre, ¿vale? Que se desbloquean más cosas y demás. Uy, la gente está poniendo cara de enfadado en el chat de Nintendo. ¿Qué ha pasado? Bueno, la gente esperando ese anuncio raro. Lo único que puede haber fuera de lo normal, y lo digo aquí que sería lo más normal, que al final del Treehouse anunciaran que habrá un Nintendo Direct donde hablarán del Zelda o cualquier cosita así. Aunque era de esperar que el formato elegido para esto fuera el Treehouse, después de haberlo visto en Japón, lo que han hecho con el evento ese, que la verdad es que está muy bien. ¿Cuánto queda? 34 minutos, no da tiempo a ver los dos, ¿no? Es que también, claro, estaría yo mi voz de fondo también, no se escucharía. La traducción no la tengo en el ordenador, ¿no? Ya la borré. Porque se podría poner, mientras tanto. No, no está. Qué gana de, de que termine. Ya he cuenta atrás. Bueno. Y bueno, he estado haciendo varias cositas. Los que están en el grupo de Telegram, pues ya han visto algunas imágenes y demás para los distintos formatos que estoy llevando. Y desvanándome la tapa de los sesos, prácticamente. Lo que pasa es que ya hoy no he avanzado todo lo que me hubiera gustado, pero sí le he dedicado muchas horas. Es un proceso más bien lento. Vamos a ver. También ha publicado Sony, no sé si lo habéis visto hoy, ha publicado el vídeo de montando la Play 5. Voy a borrar, voy a borrar eso. Esto lo voy a quitar. No me gusta ese mensaje. He publicado también en Twitter que estoy en directo. Vamos a ver. He programado varios tweets para el tema del directo. Para no estar haciéndolo manualmente, ya están programados. Que vayan saltando. Y vamos a ver qué nos encontramos. Yo espero que mañana o pasado ya empiece con los directos de forma normal. Y hay varios juegos que vamos a utilizar en directo. Vamos a continuar con el Hyrule Warrior y supuestamente también vamos a seguir con algún que otro juego así curioso. Vamos a ver. Bueno, ya lo haré luego. Ay, se me hierve la sangre con Facebook, señores, que no puedo. Creo que la red social que saca lo peor de todo el mundo, en serio. Vamos a ver. Vamos a ver. Ya dentro de todas formas, para este año no, pero bueno, el siguiente Zelda, yo tenía la esperanza en un principio, si no hubiera pasado lo del COVID, que saliera ahora en diciembre. Pero con todo lo que ha pasado, yo creo que podemos decir que somos afortunados si sale en verano del año que viene, si no ya Navidades. O sea que nos queda por lo menos un añito más de espera para la continuación de Breath of the Wild. Que ganas no me faltan en absoluto, la verdad. Pero bueno, el año que viene tenemos el aniversario de Zelda. Y supongo que la joya de la corona será el Breath of the Wild 2. Eso está claro. Lo que no sé yo es cuándo lo van a publicar. También sería bonito que lo publicaran en marzo, ¿no? Como aniversario. Parece que ya va a empezar, ¿no? Sí, ya ha empezado la emisión. Bueno, podemos cambiar la imagen, se me ve más pequeñito, ¿no? Y ya vamos dándole un poquito de forma a esto, que la gente sepa que vamos a ver el Treehouse. Porque siempre se me ve a mí en primer plano, no veas. ¿Va a empezar el vecino con la obra? Lleva todo el día el vecino haciendo una obra. Yo no sé si está quitando la solería del patio o lo que está haciendo, pero es horrible. Eh, Se lleva todo el día con el martillo neumático y tengo la cabeza que me va a estallar. Es otro de los motivos por qué no he grabado hoy. He estado haciendo otras cosas, pero vamos, que no he grabado nada, ningún vídeo ni nada. Un segundito. Pues nada. Ay. Está la cosa tranquila, no han puesto ni siquiera... A ver, sonido no se escucha, ¿no? ¡Ay, Oma! Buenas. Veo que está entrando gente otra vez. Pasad, pasad, ya queda poco. De hecho... Vamos a dejar el sonido aquí. Empieza... En 20 minutitos tenemos el directo aquí. Uf, qué fuerte hablan en esta casa, por Dios, se escuchan los gritos hasta aquí. Creo que el micrófono ahora ya no recoge esos sonidos, la verdad. Se agradece. Muy buenas, Never. El Hyrule Warriors lo tengo ya reservado. El Pikmin 3 lo tengo en Wii U, por lo tanto ahora no me lo voy a pillar. Cuando baje de precio, seguramente. O cuando venga un mes que no haya tantos juegos, porque este mes, octubre, salen 3 juegos que me interesan. En noviembre salen otros 3 4 así que no se puede mantener ese ritmo, ¿sabes? Así que ahora mismo más juegos, no lo sé, pero el Hyrule Warriors sí. Y encima, 10 días antes, sale Cyberpunk. Y por esa misma fecha también sale el Assassin's Creed Valhalla. O sea, son juegos caros. No son jueguecitos estos más en plan indie que también estoy comprando para Switch. Y a precio completo y demás, pues son carillos y duelen. Pero bueno, vamos viendo a ver qué se puede traer y si se puede mantener alguna serie, que sería lo ideal. Estoy viendo a ver si salta alguna noticia, algo, pero que va. Pues sí, la verdad es que sí tenemos y lo más mal pensado dice que Nintendo todavía no enseña el bombazo, así que puede venirse algo bastante fuerte, ¿sabes? Vaya tela. Vaya cachondeo con la comunidad de Madrid y el COVID. Ay, Dios mío. Y encima sale también la Serie X y la PlayStation 5. Sí, pero vamos, que yo todavía en consola de nueva generación no me voy a meter. Sobre todo porque ya son demasiadas cositas, ¿sabes? De lanzamiento tampoco hay tantas cosas que me gusta tener. A ver, no es lo mismo que la Nintendo Switch que salía Zelda. Y el Zelda sí, un juego que quería. Vale, está el Demon Souls. Por ahí sí. Pero no me merece la pena gastarme 500 euros para jugar al Demon Souls. pudiendo invertir esos 500 euros en juegos y en otras cositas que van a salir. Por ejemplo, la edición física del Castlevania de Konami, bueno, de los Castlevanias antiguos, algunos juegos más del Limited Run, que entre los gastos de envío y demás se encarecen mucho, alguna que otra edición especial, el año que viene el aniversario de Zelda, o sea, se vienen cosas muy tochas, por lo tanto, mm, todavía no, por lo menos para mí no. Si podéis permitiroslo y os mola, pues venga, adelante, o sea, pillaros la que os más os llene o más os guste. Pero porque ahora mismo sale la consola y os gustaría presumir y todo eso, pues no sé, no me convence. O sea, no. Esperaría. Esperaría porque es que es un dineral. Es un buen tocho, ¿sabes? No. Me ha gustado el vídeo que han enseñado de Play 5, de montándolo, la verdad. No me lo esperaba. Pero bueno, al final lo que va a decidir esta generación, lo que merece la pena, por lo menos para mí, son los juegos y después la retrocompatibilidad que nos vamos a encontrar en cada una. Me gustaría mucho que la Play 5 fuera retrocompatible con la 3 y la 2, pero me temo que no va a ser así ni de coña. No sé si Sony se ha guardado algunas más en la manga, no lo sé. Pero vamos, yo creo que no. Esa es mi chata. No sé por qué ahora estará ladrando. Y tiene que estar tranquilita la pobre ahora. ¿Y tú te vas a pillar alguna, Never? Qué bonita la queda la portada en Twitter, ¿no? La verdad que me ha quedado chula. Bueno, al final lo que pasa siempre. Al final lo que pasa siempre. Ay, ay, mamá. También hay otros juegos que yo me huelo que pueden llegar a salir, se está rumoreando mucho, son los Dino Crisis. Tengo ya hace tiempo el ojo echado y creo que van a salir. No lo llegué a tener en Play 1, pero acabarán cayendo, ya verás. Tarde o temprano caerán. Ya tiene que estar todo el mundo más o menos. A esta hora ya está todo el mundo en directo. Así que ya poco más. Porque muchas veces yo de los que estáis aquí, pues no sé lo que está, si tenéis alguna que otra consola. Si jugáis más en PC, Nintendo Switch, en Play 4, en Xbox One. Vámonos. Venga, vamos a chumear un poquito YouTube a ver quién está ya en directo. Ya tiene que estar todo el mundo. Yo creo que sí. Ahí está. Está casi todo el mundo. El Treehouse tiene 29.000 espectadores. Gana un versus Cochorón. Vaya título del Quito SM. Qué bueno. Baldur's Gate 3, Early Access. ¿Ya está el Early Access? Madre mía, yo no me he enterado. Hay mucha gente que empieza poco antes del directo. Yo soy más de después meterle tijera. John Wick Hex Announcement Trailer. Para Nintendo Switch. Ahora, hay gente que va a empezar a menos cuarto, a menos 10, entonces es normal. Por cierto, de la serie de Resident Evil, ¿qué os ha parecido? Bueno, película, en este caso. El casting, lo que es físicamente, me ha llamado la atención, ¿eh? Vamos a ver. Pues nada. Los nuevos mutantes, nueva temporada de House of Hill, que en verdad ahora se estrenan todas las series de Netflix. Así que nos espera también una buena racha. Por cierto, pues hablando estos días con vosotros y demás, me ha entrado el mono, yo no sé ahora por qué, esto tienen que ser ya cosa de viejo, de carca, de ver One Piece. O sea, me he puesto a ver One Piece ahora. A lo mejor busco los copies por ahí, los que yo tengo en grapa de Planeta Agostini, que son los primeros dos tomos, me parece, y los sorteo, no lo sé. Aunque el papel no era de muy buena calidad de Panini Planeta Agostini, a saber cómo estará, pero bueno, hay que buscarlo y verlo. Y se pueden sortear o lo que sea. Muy buena, Virato. Pero vamos, que la serie asusta. O sea, cuando tú ves que tiene 900 y pico de episodios, te acojonas. Está en Crunchyroll. Mm, Crunchyroll me suena un montón. Netflix la va a poner ahora. O sea, Netflix está a punto de ponerla. Que hay este mes. A ver, un momentito, lo de Crunchyroll. A ver, que me estás liando, Virato, en Latinoamérica. Pero, a ver, Netflix. A ver. No, no, sale este mes Netflix España. Pues la noticia es del mundo, o sea, que es periódico español. A ver, estoy buscando información. Espérate un momentito, estoy comprobándolo, ¿vale? 67 capítulos. El 12 de octubre de 2020. O sea, hace la semana que viene. Bueno, ya lo veremos, de todas formas. Ya lo vemos si viene o no viene. O sea que tampoco vamos a poner. Yo creía que sí, ¿sabes? Por eso digo, la voy viendo, aunque van a ser 67 episodios. O sea, se van a quedar cortísimos, ¿no? A ver el servicio de Crunchyroll cómo funciona. Yo es que ya con Amazon Prime ya me. Ya es demasiado para mí Amazon Prime. Y Netflix me lo prestan. El mayor catálogo del anime del mundo, Crunchyroll, vale. Disfruta cuando quieras y donde quieras. Ujú, muy bien, estupendo. Más de 30.000 episodios, 7 € al mes. Todos los beneficios de fan disponibles en 4 dispositivos al mismo tiempo, visionados sin conexión. 14 días pruebas gratuitas. Tendré que mirar. Tendré que hablar con más gente a ver si entre unos cuantos. Pero vamos, voy súper lento. Voy por el episodio 9 me parece, o 10. Yo todo eso ya lo había visto, intentado ver hace muchísimos años. Pero me cogí un cabreo con la gente por el tema de One Piece y al final ni la vi ni nada. Y lo mismo me pasó con Naruto, no la he visto. O sea, toda la serie está así más famosa, Naruto, ni One Piece tampoco. ¿Cuál fue la otra? Bleach, puede ser. Bleach, no. Bleach, creo que era Bleach, ¿no? ¿Puede ser Bleach? Sí, Bleach tampoco la he visto. Yo era más de series cortitas. Es que en el momento que se ponía la gente en plan todo el mundo vestido igual en el salón del manga, todo así, yo al final no me entraba. Es que parecía que era casi forzoso ver algo porque si no, no estabas a la moda o no te gustaba el manga o el anime. O sea, si no estabas viendo la serie de moda en ese momento, automáticamente te catalogaban como persona que no le gusta el anime o el manga. Eres un poser o lo que sea. Pues veré lo que a mí me salga de ahí abajo, vamos. No voy a ver lo que la gente quiera que vea. Faltaría más, en serio. Aunque ahora ya con tantas series que hay ya es más difícil que pase, pero vamos, seguramente que habrá ahora mismo otra o una o dos series que son las más punteras que está viendo todo el mundo. No sé si tú las sabes cuáles son, mira, tú me lo puedes echar. ¿Cuáles son las series que ahora mismo está viendo todo el mundo, las más punteras? ¿Mm? A ver, yo las últimas que recuerdo haber visto, Hunter, Witch Hunter Robin, Wolfcry podría ser, Wolfrain podría ser, Ataque de Titanes, a esos tipos. Ahora está Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen, ¿cuál es? A ver. Jujutsu Kaisen. Que ni idea, que vamos, me estás hablando en chino. Este es del alquimista. A ver, mira un momentito. Si no, sí. Jujutsu Idatori es un estudiante de la secundaria con una habilidad de física extraordinaria, pero no tiene ningún interés en los deportes y prefiere aportarse al club ocultismo de la escuela con tal de no dar palo al agua. Sin embargo, tras la aparición de un espíritu maligno, la cosa se pone seria y su vida está a punto de cambiar por completo. 12 tomos, ¿no? El anime 24 episodios. Pero así de larga duración no hay ninguno, ¿no? Cuando las cigarras lloran, ¿te refieres al no sé qué de las luciérnagas? No sé, es que no sé si en Latinoamérica tiene otro nombre. La tumba de las luciérnagas, Black Clover. Esa sí me suena, fíjate tú. Por haber visto dibujos y el personaje. Pero tampoco he visto la serie. Ayer me sentí un poquito decepcionado cuando entré y había visto que no habían puesto nada nuevo de Bola de Dragón. Ah, eres de España, Virato, perdón. Sorry, sorry. Comen nasai. Pues buena animación parece que tiene, ¿no? Hay una serie que tengo ganas, bueno, hay una saga que tengo ganas de terminar de ver y verla entera. Es Gundam. Pero es que no sé ya por dónde empezar, en serio. Tengo muchas cosas pendientes. Y me apetecía ver algo ameno. De hecho, los episodios de One Piece lo veo en tres o cuatro. En tres partes lo veo. O sea, en tres ratitos veo un episodio. Paro 5 minutitos de hacer lo que estoy haciendo, como algo rápido y sigo después trabajando y en esos 5 minutitos pues me veo un poco de episodio. Entonces me gusta tener algo que sea que pueda cortar, ¿sabes? Que no tenga yo esa sensación de quiero seguir viendo, porque si no después no produzco. Y es un rollo. Empieza esto, ya tiene que ser la hora, ¿no? Un poquito queda. Vamos a grabar el saludo, ¿no? Vamos a grabar el saludo y ya se queda grabado para el corte, ¿no? Muy buenas, bienvenido a un vídeo más aquí a Rorkro Games, vuestro canal sobre videojuegos. Y vamos a ver aquí el Treehouse, que ya le queda pocos minutos, a ver, exactamente 3 minutitos, un poquito menos, para empezar el Treehouse. La verdad que hay muchísimas ganas de ver el Hyrule Warriors. Si no habéis visto los gameplays del Tokyo Game Show traducidos, lo tenéis en este canal. Lo traduje todo subtitulado en español, ¿vale? Lo tenéis en la lista de reproducción. Los pondré en las etiquetas cuando termine el directo. No he podido ponerlo ahora, antes del directo, por lo tanto lo siento. Pero bueno, están en el canal los dos gameplay, tanto el de la conferencia de Koei como otro que hubo después. Y la verdad que están muy guapos. El segundo, donde más información hay, desde luego. De la primera parte no he conseguido los subtítulos en inglés para poder traducirlo completo, pero sí en el del segundo vídeo que está completo traducido, entonces la información que se aporta y la sensación de que no falta información y demás es mucho mejor. Y así que os animo que os paséis y que también podáis verlo por ahí. Hay algún que otro vídeo también en el canal. Y sí, ahora mismo está un poquito más enfocado en Nintendo. Por aquí se van a hablar de todas las consolas. Hoy han publicado el montaje, bueno, desmontaje de la Play 5, que a lo mejor grabo una reacción para comentarlo aquí, pero será en privado o a lo mejor aprovecho de hacerlo en un directo. Ya lo veo si no luego por la noche. Y nada, la verdad que la cosa está bien. En el canal es que subí unos cuantos vídeos, pero me he dado cuenta que al codificarlo, los colores que muestra la pantalla no se corresponden los que yo tenía intención como se vieran, la edición de vídeo. Y luego también por algún que otro problema de sonido. Los tengo que volver a comprimir. Normalmente los vídeos que tengo yo ahora mismo preparados del Chronotip son unas 3 4 horas de compresión por vídeo. Así que a ver si termino de hacer un par de cositas y dejamos una noche comprimiendo los vídeos y los subimos. En ocupar en gigas, pues también ocupan, ¿vale? Cada vídeo son unos 12 gigas en bruto. Después ya YouTube lo recomprime, le cambia la calidad y se ve muchísimo mejor. Por lo tanto, ahí. Muy buena, Tony. No, no te has perdido nada. No te has perdido nada. Todavía no ha empezado. Quedan nada. Quedan 30 segundos. También está por aquí Virato desde Twitch. Muy buenas. Never también está preguntando. Radical Grunt también se estará a punto de pasar. Dos está en el gimnasio, lo verá después. Muy buenas dos, ¿qué tal? Y nada. Sí, te saludo aunque no esté. Es lo mínimo que puedo hacer a una de las personas que más está aportando y ayudando al canal. Voy a comprobar si se han publicado los últimos tweets que programé. Programé uno 5 minutos antes. Ahí está, se han publicado. Perfecto, se ha publicado el de antes y el de ahora. Pues ya está. Ya la gente está avisada. Vamos a ver. Starting soon. Ya, menos mal que lo van a poner en Netflix. Por eso lo estoy, ¿sabes? Por eso lo estoy viendo. Un par de días antes me da igual. Así que nada, a disfrutarlo. Pues yo creo que empezaron con Pikmin, ya aviso, ¿vale? No van a empezar con Zelda ni de coña. Si empiezan con Zelda me sorprenden. Pero ya digo, Zelda no. Van a empezar con Pikmin.
Hi everyone, I'm JC from the Nintendo Treehouse, and this is Nintendo Treehouse Live. Nintendo Treehouse Live is a way for us to give folks a sneak peek of some of the games and projects we're working on. In this case, we have 2 projects to show you today. Later in the program, we're going to give you a look at Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. But first, we do want to give you a look at a game that it's very, very near and dear to us in the Treehouse, which is Pikmin 3 Deluxe. And who better to show us through a Pikmin game than my man Corey. So Corey and I are going to take you through a little bit
Tony.
of the main
Es el 3 de Wii U.
story mode, if you will, and we'll sprinkle a couple of new things along the way.
Yo
So,
estuve buscando
Corey,
los de
wanna kick
Wii
us off?
porque me gustaría
Yeah, thank
tenerlo
you.
esa
It
calidad,
is
pero
my
bueno, en
pleasure
el
to
canal
talk
puedo traeros los de
anything Pikmin
GameCube.
related. As you mentioned, JC, we are showing Pikmin 3 Deluxe today, and right now we're in story mode, probably about 5 minutes into the story, past the introduction, tutorial, cutscenes, etc. And I am controlling one of the explorers named Alf here. Generally, what the story is 3 Alf and 2 explorer companions of his crash land on this alien planet and find themselves in need of getting back together again.
Muy buena,
finding
Radical.
the other explorers, but also finding food for their planet. And they meet these Pikmin creatures on the planet, which are adorable plant-like creatures we can see here that are very curious, they're very loyal, and you'll be using them throughout your adventure. So I just called a few red Pikmin out of the base here. And you notice I'm skipping a few of the prompts. I'm going to be doing that a little bit throughout this just in order to keep the flow going, as well as not to spoil the game for everyone as well. So, but as I move my left stick around, you're able to see that I control my explorer, and the left stick also controls this red cursor as well. So if I'm all the way out of range, it also moves the explorer. If I push the A button where the cursor is located, you'll toss a Pikmin to that location.
Vale.
And if you toss a Pikmin near something like this.
Por ahora el
flower
mismo.
pellet
Aquí
over here,
parece ser que no han añadido
you'll
nada.
see
Por lo
that the
menos todavía no lo han
Pikmin
dicho, ¿sabes?
automatically
La idea
starts
que
to
yo tenía es
carry
que
it
sí,
back
que a lo
to
mejor
the base,
añadían
which is
algo más.
called an onion, and we're going to see some sprouts pop out of the top there and then go into the ground, which is the way Pikmin propagate. So if you want
Pero
to
vamos,
get
si
more
tienes
Pikmin
el
on your
3,
squad, you
puedes
just
esta
wanna bring
Navidad
things
de
back to
invertir
the
en otro
base
juego y te lo
and
compras
then
después.
pluck the new Pikmin
Pero
out
va a
of the
pasar
ground.
igual que siempre. No tienen tantas
I've been
ventas
using
los
the
juegos de
control stick
Pikmin
to
y es una
control
pena.
thus far the cursor. But what I'm going to do now briefly is just pause the game and switch over to motion control to control the cursor, just because that's a personal preference of mine that I started to like a lot more on the Wii U release, but it is totally optional for player preference on how to control the pointer. So that red pointer where you see 23 is now being controlled with just a little bit of motion now. So
Vale, ahora controla la chica, el personaje y el mando controla el puntero, básicamente.
And if I pause the game using the minus button, we can see that there's sort of a radar being pulsating over here across the water. So it looks like I need to somehow cross the water to reach Brittany. But if I try to take the direct approach and just go through the water, we're finding out that the game tells us that red Pikmin are not able to go into the water. Water is lethal to them. So fortunately, I can use my whistle with the B button and whistle all of my Pikmin back to land. So because the
Uy, que se
Pikmin
lo
are
comen
so
ahí.
helpful throughout my adventures, you really do grow a bond to them, and you do not want to lose even one. But there's a little creature over here that wants a lunch too. So
yeah, it looks hungry.
Yeah, these yellow things that you'll come across are memos, which can often give you a brief hint on how to go about your adventure here. So it recommended me tossing a Pikmin on the back of that creature which if I toss a couple more, we'll be able to carry that creature back to the base to get more Pikmin. And I actually tossed some Pikmin on these bridge tiles as well, because what we're able to see is even though I can't cross the water yet, if I collect enough bridge tiles with my Pikmin, they'll be able to build this bridge. So while they are bringing those tiles to the bridge, I can see that there's a few more bridge pieces across this wall, but I need to break down that wall. So if I toss a couple Pikmin at the wall, they'll start breaking it down, but they'll go pretty slowly. So if I want to speed up the process, we throw more Pikmin at the job. And
empezamos con Pikmin. Yo no sé cuánto va a durar.
These tiles. Looks like my Pikmin also brought back that carcass from the small little creature, so we were able to get even more Pikmin. And we'll throw these new Pikmin at the wall to make it go even faster.
You know, this whole thing about Pikmin, I do want to talk a bit more about that because I think it's really interesting. You know, these Pikmin, you think about it, right? You pluck them out of the ground, and these big eyes, they're still trying to figure out the world, and they're kind of relying on someone to tell them what to do. So, as you can tell, all these Pikmin have like a single focus when you tell them what to do. And, you know, from their perspective, it's like, okay, well, I should follow this living thing that's telling me what to do, right? But at the same time, it's kind of curious about you. The open eyes, full of wonder, you know, it's kind of relying on you to kind of help it, right? And so I feel kind of bad because, you know, at times you may encounter some enemies and Pikmin may, what's the word, die. And that sound is absolutely heartrending, and I do not wish that on anyone. However, if you put Pikmin in a bad situation, it's kind of your fault. It's not theirs. So take care of your Pikmin. That's the story.
That's right. And I had to go back and collect them. As you mentioned, they were single-minded. So once they're done with a task, they kind of just wait for their next order. So you're constantly needing to whistle to get their attention.
Sí, son peores que los lemmings, los Pikmin.
And we're coming up against our second creature of the game here, which is a larger version of that bulborb we saw, that creature. And as I creep around here before waking him up, I did want to point out another one of the fun features of the game, which is the in-game camera. At any time, you can push the minus button to pause and kind of just see the world from your explorer's eyes, which is that pint-sized view. So we've got, this Pikmin's just
modo cámara.
Hey, buddy.
Pues está chulo en modo cámara.
It's a fun way to take pictures on your journey. As well as almost feel like
Tony, claro, si vamos, puede mandarme también mensajes por privado, por Telegram. Si prefiere, vamos. La gente me habla también por Telegram en privado, aunque casi todo el mundo habla en grupo. Vaya tela, ¿no? No creo que tenga ningún correo mío publicado ahora mismo en el canal de YouTube y demás. Por lo tanto, lo más fácil es eso. Creo que es Telegram o mensaje privado en Twitter o no sé.
I do want to point that out because I really like that feature, which is the lock-on feature. If you're familiar with the Pikmin games, you'll kind of remember that there was no lock-on feature. You had to kind of manually aim, kind of do it. But by tapping the ZR button a couple times, you can cycle through items on the screen.
Ahora mismo somos muy poca gente y tampoco, vamos, que normalmente en el grupo entro y escribo varias veces al día. Hoy está más tiempo editando y haciendo otras cosas, entonces no. Pero
and I think the cycling through the different objects and enemies is the thing that really helps me when there are multiple objects or you're in a tight space. So we're coming across Brittany. We're getting a little bit closer to her. We are seeing that fortunately she's okay. The crash landing just made her take a little bit of a nap, and she needs to be rescued now. She's kind of still.
Yo no sé cuánto va a durar esto, pero yo creo que más de una hora no va a durar el Nintendo Direct este. Vamos a ver.
I like that language you're speaking.
Yeah, the explorers do speak a different language, so fortunately we as the players can see the subtitles there. Very cute language. All right, so Brittany noticed that there was some fruit nearby, which we will see just as we round the corner. A strawberry, which looks much larger in this world to us because we, as the explorer and the Pikmin, are so tiny. And because my explorer cannot jump, the only way to reach this item is actually by tossing Pikmin near the strawberry. So you see that number 3 on the bottom. That indicates that the minimum number of Pikmin required to move
Así
the object
aprenden
is
los
3,
niños números
but you
quebrados.
can throw a few more if you want the object to move a little bit faster. And they will know instinctively, the Pikmin, to bring that back to the base. So I can leave them on their own, and they'll get it back there.
Un cristal.
And, as we're trying to continue on and rescue Brittany, we need to get past this wall, but we're finding that this wall, Red
Pero como
Pikmin
son dos
can't break
juegos-
down. And so another new feature that I wanted to showcase here is these optional hints that have been added. So if a newer player, got stuck or just wanted to know what to do next, you can push up on the plus control pad, and that's going to show some hints. And then even in addition, some arrows on the ground just to let you know where to go. So it's guiding
Van a
you to a
añadir una
nearby
guía de
cave
juego.
here to
Pero no van a añadir ningún
maybe
tipo de
find what we need
aventura
to
o algo.
progress the story.
And at the top of the screen, you'll notice that kind of sun meter kind of crawling across from left to right across the top of the screen. And that kind of indicates how much time, Corey has to get through his tasks because, well, let's just say nighttime is not very nice to Pikmin. You want to make sure you get them out of there before sundown. And, that actually ties into the hints also. So if this is the first time for you playing the game, if you really just want to make the most out of your day and you want something, some kind of hint, feel free to use them and just it'll help you kind of explore different ways and different methods that maybe you weren't aware of yet.
Mira,
So
de
definitely
metal.
use it.
Bueno, de piedra.
And after defeating this enemy, we discovered that there were a new type of Pikmin that were actually inside that creature. These are rock Pikmin. And we didn't go into detail earlier, but each Pikmin type
Sí,
will
han
have
cambiado
their own
a lo mejor algunas
specialties.
cosillas.
So we're learning here that rock Pikmin have the ability to break sort of these hard crystals or glass, which red Pikmin would not. Later on, you'll see that blue Pikmin are the only Pikmin that can go in the water.
Bueno.
So, all right. So now that we've got that enemy
A ver, mala
defeated,
pinta no tiene,
I would
desde
like
luego.
to basically sprout a few more rock Pikmin. So I'm going to ask those rock Pikmin to bring it back to the onion, and we will pluck some more rock Pikmin out before we continue our adventure. And again, one of those memos that pop up, letting you know a little game tip.
Yo es que ya lo he dicho varias veces, pero bueno, la GameCube no la tuve de salida, la tuve con la Wii, o sea, los juegos de GameCube los jugaba un poquito en la Wii. Y con la Wii, la 360, pues pocos juegos de GameCube toqué. Eso sí, más adelante fui consiguiendo los juegos y demás que me interesaban. Algunos sí los he jugado, pero bueno, que es más por colección. Y me da mucha rabia no haber invertido más tiempo, pero bueno, es que no se puede jugar a todo. Y cada vez se vuelve peor esa sensación, ¿sabes? Vale.
Brittany, finally we found you. Let's get you out of there. Let's break down this glass wall as well.
Brittany.
That's a celebratory backflip they just did.
She is super happy to no longer be confined. So now that they've reunited here, I'm able to use both Brittany and Alf at the same time.
Yo lo que no sé lo que tendrán preparado para el Pikmin 4, que ya dijeron que estaba terminado.
Just for, I guess, aesthetics that you can have multiple party members, but it actually comes in handy from a strategy perspective. So having Brittany, you can toss her over a gap, toss her some Pikmin, and then at any moment while you're playing, you can push the Y button and switch to Brittany, and then we're going to see that she's able to, since she's on a higher elevation,
qué bueno.
throw some Pikmin up to reach that limit. And if I were on a lower
Me pasó lo mismo con la Wii U. La Wii U la compré cuando ya tuve trabajo.
We would see that if I tried
Un poco
to
antes de que saliera la Switch.
they would not be able to reach that high. So there are points throughout the
Sobre
game
todo
where
también
you
para
will
poder
need
capturar
to
juegos de la
split
Wii.
up your
Sabes que con la
squad
Wii U
and
puedo
maybe
jugar a juegos
throw
de la
one over
Wii y
a gap or
capturarlos.
over water. But since we do have two explorers now in the game, both Alf and Brittany, JC, I thought it could be a good time to for you to hop in, since with Pikmin 3 Deluxe, it is the first time that two people can play the story mode together. At any time, you can just pause, go to play co-op, and JC,
¿Hay
what happened?
cooperativo?
Absolutely.
Cool. So we'll see the screen now becomes split with me on the left, JC on the right. JC doesn't have any Pikmin right now, so
I'm
he
lonely,
can't
give
really
me
do
some.
much on his own. So I'm going to throw some red Pikmin your way, and you'll
Thank
just
you.
have to whistle at them, and they'll be in your party.
Appreciate that.
And I'm going to keep charge of these rock Pikmin, and let's just keep making our way forward. There's some creatures up here that are
Pues esto me
carrying
mola,
crystals, which can be a little dangerous to the red Pikmin, so let me take these guys out before the red Pikmin squad comes in. All right,
Appreciate that.
they are gone. So,
So
I'm gonna,
I'll take these bridge tiles over here and start building because there's a bridge. So I'll start doing this.
okay. There is a bridge we found, and JC's gonna get one
Oye,
side.
pues esto mola, ¿eh?
I found some bridge tiles.
Ahora
on the
solo
left
falta alguien
that
para poder
need
jugar en cooperativo.
to be carried back. But
Pues esto
it
sí me
was
gusta,
in
fíjate
a
tú.
sort of crystal, so I used my rock Pikmin there. And we're kind of seeing some teamwork here. JC is using his squad to do a different task than me, which is, yeah, again, we're making the most of our time. And it's fun working together. So I'm going to, looks like I've got 7 more bridge tiles to go, and we will have this bridge completed. Come on, rock Pikmin.
Ahí
And I
está.
did time that appropriately to make sure that I wanted the red one. So I get more
All right.
red Pikmin.
So our bridge should be done now almost. Looks like they've got it. Final piece is in place. And
Vale.
There we
all
go.
right. So now that we've
Pues
got
está
the
guapo,
bridge,
¿eh?
I'm just going to whistle to make sure I've got all of the kind of idle Pikmin in my party. And actually,
I'm taking some.
yeah. Okay, good. You threw some Pikmin on some enemies and some, yeah, some food, some pellets that we can bring back. And as we make our way back, you're going to notice that we're actually back where we started. So we built a bridge, sort of a shortcut now back to the starting point. I'll go ahead and grab these red Pikmin since they're just standing there. And we're finding a new
Vaya
wall
está.
that we couldn't actually break down earlier when we first started. So since I found rock Pikmin, I'm going to throw them at this wall.
Lo que yo no entiendo es por qué les pisela tanto a esta gente cuando hace directo y demás.
And we didn't talk too much about
Es
this
horrible,
earlier, but any piece of fruit that you saw, we got the strawberry earlier. You'll want to bring that back to your base, and the more fruit you collect, the more days you're going to be able to explore this world. So that's how fruit plays a role in the game's story mode. Brittany here is noticing that we got a new radar kind of detection from elsewhere on the map, so she's recommending we go check it out. There's another tip letting us know that red Pikmin are fire resistant.
Vale.
Looks so defiant in the face of fire. Look at that. I
Right.
just kind of enjoy it. Okay, I'm gonna take
So
out this
some
this
Some
enemy
new
that's breathing
creatures
fire.
here. All right. Oh, and I did not listen to that warning, but my rock Pikmin's lit up like a birthday candle, and he's freaking out. Similar to
Pobrecito, ¿no?
Pikmin, if they're drowning, as long as you whistle at a Pikmin in peril, as long as it's in time, they'll come running back to you, and they'll be okay. Here it's just letting us know that we found some bridge materials, but this time it's on the opposite side of the water, so there's going to be a little bit more.
Miyamoto se le va muchas veces la
complication in
pinza
order
con
to
los
get
juegos
those
que
bridge
inventan,
pieces.
pero están muy chulos.
All
¿sabes?
right.
Taking this.
I also have some red Pikmin in my party, so rather than continuing to burn my rock Pikmin, I'm going to try to use my red Pikmin as well. Oh, thank you. Teamwork.
I got you.
Nice. All right, so
There you go.
those enemies have been felled. All right, so at this point, there is the bridge that we cannot cross on the left. JC, if you kind of come up to where I'm at, I'm going to hold down the Y
Sí,
button,
Tony,
which
sí.
will allow
Los
you
llama
to
y
join
se
my
deja de
party,
morirse.
and then I can toss you over the water. And I can also throw some rock Pikmin over to you, because I think you're going to need some rock and some red.
Thank you.
And
Oh,
while
Pikmin
you work
riches.
on that bridge, I'll just hang out.
Sweet.
Es un mega
Ooh, yes,
silbato.
found him.
Oh, nice. You used the charge feature. Well
I'm
done.
impatient.
While you're doing that, I'm just going to have a little bit of fun. And one of my other favorite features of the game, we showed it a little bit earlier, but that camera I really like it. From that pint-sized perspective, oh, there's our enemy we just defeated, but we can also see some Pikmin hanging out. Do some autofocus. Oh, wow. They are just waiting for you to get your job done, lounging.
Oye, el modo
Direction,
foto está
guidance,
guapo, ¿eh?
love and support and all the other things.
I love taking photos. Okay. Back to work. You guys. Finish
Okay.
your bridge.
Yeah, I think my folks are done on my side, so we're good.
Actually, the one other feature I wanted to showcase briefly is another new feature to Pikmin 3 Deluxe, which is called the Piclopedia. And here, any creatures that you come across in the
Piclopedia.
game will get their own entries, and you can, once you go in, you can tap on it and see different entries from different explorers in your party. So we've got Alf here that's commenting on this dwarf Bulborb. Since we've got Brittany, we can see her comments as well. There are spaces for 3 additional explorers notes, so you can imagine that there will be some other fun notes to read about as well. But I find that it's really fascinating to come in because each explorer has their own take on how they talk about the enemies
Vale,
and creatures.
está
they come
curioso.
across. So yeah, that is probably enough story mode for now. I'll go ahead and pause the game, and let's switch over to another brand new feature to Pikmin 3 Deluxe called Side Stories. These
Side story?
are some elements where you'll be able to see what Captain Olimar and Louis got up to prior to the main story of Pikmin 3.
Mm-hmm. Oh, before I forget, let's also talk about, I remember we mentioned the whole, the sun kind of passing over, and they have a certain limited amount of time in the day.
A
For
ver
those
si lo
people,
dicen, pero vamos,
there's
que
actually a much more difficult mode for you.
Mm.
So, you want to talk about that, Cor?
Yeah, there are 3 difficulty modes in story in Pikmin 3 Deluxe. There's normal, hard, and there is even an ultra spicy difficulty setting, which gives you only 60 Pikmin can be in the field at once, as well as some additional challenging elements. So for those that are familiar with Pikmin 3 or want a much bigger challenge, that'll be right up your alley. But yeah, for now, let's hop into a sneak peek
Side
of Side
Stories.
Stories, which I mentioned feature Captain Olimar prior to the happenings of the main story. And we're going to see Olimar here facing the camera. Sort of the background of this is that Captain Olimar, the company he works for, is in debt yet again back on his home planet. And his boss is sending him here looking for treasure to help the company get out of debt. Olimar is a very
lo que ha
loyal
pasado?
worker and will go to great lengths to make his boss and employer happy. So good for Olimar here. Of course, Captain Olimar was in Pikmin 1 and the original Pikmin and Pikmin 2, as well as Louis, who was his partner in Pikmin 2. Maybe a little bit less competent than Captain Olimar, who you can see here, but still a very key member of Olimar's team.
Well, and he's got his charm.
pues sí, Tony.
Louis got charm.
Yeah, no, Louis is great. We love Louis. But let's see here. All right, the objective of this mission is actually going to be different from the story mode we were playing earlier, because now the goal is just to collect as much treasure as we can in 12 minutes. And JC, of course, we've got you in here as split screen right now, but for the moment, we'll just switch it back to solo play for simplicity, and I will, I still do get to control both explorers, so I can still get Olimar in my party. I can also call the yellow Pikmin, which we're seeing for the first time in this demo, over, and we'll see a little bit of their specialties. So we've got this electrified fence where if I throw a red Pikmin at it, we'll see them get a little bit electrocuted, but the yellow Pikmin are immune. They can be thrown at an electric fence.
12 minutos, vale, es contra el reloj, pero bueno, recogiendo fruta y
Louis
objetos.
there to keep an eye on our yellow Pikmin while we take our red Pikmin out into the rest of the map. And we saw this creature a second ago and learned that he's got kind of fire breathing, but knowing that we've got our red Pikmin with us, we're not worried about fire. So even if they get shaken off, which this enemy creature is doing, we can let's do some charging actually, Adam. There we go.
Ya está.
A
And
confidence,
done.
Corey. Nice.
Mira, hay uno
And
eléctrico.
since the Pikmin were nearby when he was defeated, they're just automatically going to bring him back, which I will let them do.
Mira, Pikmin de
We
agua.
found some wild Pikmin, blue Pikmin in the wild here, so we'll just call them. But before we hop in this water here, I'm going to swap back to Louis to see what he's up to, and he's just plucking Pikmin and keeping an eye on those yellow Pikmin. So, all right, let's take our blue Pikmin into the water. Again, blue Pikmin are the only Pikmin that can survive in the water. We found a creature in here that's a little bit hard to see, but he's under the water here. You can see that pie chart slowly starting to disappear. And this number 5 is actually the amount of gold treasure, gold nuggets here. As the Pikmin take this treasure back to the base, we're going to see in our upper left the currency start to increase, which are Pocos, which is the currency of Olimar and Louis' home planet. So that is my
Vale.
objective, to bring back as much treasure as we can. Looks like the yellow fence is almost done, but not quite. So we will... oh, we lost some Pikmin somewhere. What happened? Oh, no!
That sound, Corey.
I was not as smart as I could have been, and I lost some Pikmin because there's this creature down here that is electric, that I believe either electrocuted my blue Pikmin.
Yo creo que para
or
esta
maybe
fase
ate
primero
them,
tienes que llevártelo de
but-
fuego y eléctrico, y una vez que haya
I
matado a este
can still
bicho,
throw blue
dedicarte a
Pikmin
la
at him,
verja.
But once he starts to generate electricity, you want to get away.
Sería lo suyo.
All right. I think we've got him. The blue Pikmin. All right, they're bringing him back. Great. Let's head back here with him. Actually, Louis got control of that, so I'm just going to take control of Olimar, and maybe Olimar can find some more Pikmin on the stage.
You know, I
So-
also noticed that you're walking by a couple of different fruit and stuff like that, and I also want to point out
Pluck these.
the different ways you can kind of think about a map. Because, from my perspective, if you have a large number of Pikmin, that really is a defining factor of how much you can grab. Because
Ay, cómo me gustaría poder jugar a doble muchos juegos, Dios mío.
If it's farther away from your base, you're not only going to need to, have the number to carry that item, but if you find something on the way back, you're going to need enough to, like, if you want spur of the moment just to go pick it up, you're going to need to also have enough Pikmin to pick up that item as well.
Qué rápido han
I always
caído,
try to
¿no?
memorize, like, where
Es una
items
naranja.
are, what did I see, where did I pass it, is there anything else en route that I could probably take the next time I come back? And so it also creates a really interesting kind of play mechanic where I'm kind of thinking about how could I do this better.
Mira, se la
It's
apaña
like,
bien.
I did it. I
Y
did
ahí
it in
hay
this order
uva.
last time. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this map one more time, and I know I can get more out of it. I know I missed that. I missed this. So
No,
lots
si
of
te lo creo, si te creo,
I can already
Tony.
tell you, replay value. I've already made multiple mistakes that I would not have wanted to do, such as losing those blue Pikmin early. So if I played this again, there would have been things I would have done differently. But while
Muy
I've
buena,
got
King
these
Cuervo.
Pikmin
Pues
and
nada,
got
aquí.
grapes, I'm gonna switch back to Louis here.
Vamos a ver qué nos enseñan de
to make
Hyrule
sure
Warriors
that
después de
always-
Pikmin
I
3.
always wanna have
Tiene
my Pikmin
novedades
doing
curiosas.
something,
Quizás no las suficientes,
in
pero
this mode, because
sí
again,
tiene
you wanna
novedades
create that
curiosas.
high score, and get as much treasure as you can. So, all right, we've got this gold nuggets going, and looks like these Pikmin are still working on the grapes. Keep an eye
7
on them.
minutitos.
All right, let's go back to base because there might
Como me
just be
gustaría
some
poder
idle
jugar estos
Pikmin
juegos
at
en
base
pareja.
waiting for their next
Ah.
order, which there are. Let's take them out for their next adventure.
give them purpose, Corey.
Ooh, and pluck some more Pikmin. All right, while they're plucking. While Pikmin are being plucked, it's always a good idea to switch to your other explorer. All right.
Está muy curioso el juego, la verdad.
Because you can't,
Han
while
añadido
they're being
modo
plucked, there's not really much
dos
else
jugadores, le han
these guys
añadido
can
como
do,
una
so,
enciclopedia
all right.
interna y han añadido este modo de juego que son hacer misiones con Olaf y
On
Louis
his back,
de
he's got
recolectar
this
materias
shell on
para el
his
planeta,
Let's
¿sabes?
see if we
Son
just
misiones.
charge. Oh no. Let's
That
just,
didn't go as planned.
oh no. We didn't see that. No, let's just get
Oh.
away from that.
Oh man, that
Not all
sound.
Pikmin, not all creatures are actually small though. Even though we bailed out of that battle, and that creature was quite small, there are some creatures that are much more intimidating and large that you'll
Madre
come
mía.
across. This one included, which, yeah, let's get away from those guys. I've collected 327 Pokos or gold so far. This is probably a good point to end for now. I don't want to spoil too much of these side stories.
En modo
But,
eso, así se
yeah,
llama, es verdad,
let's,
side story.
End here for now, but we've got one more mode that we wanted to showcase, which is completely different from anything we've shown so far, and it is a one-on-one competitive mode called Bingo Battle.
Yeah, so Bingo Battle, is definitely one of, I think, our favorite modes in the Treehouse because it gets really, really heated. You'll see in a second. And the objective of Bingo Battle really is to fill out your bingo card. I'm going to be on the right side, Cora will be on the left. And of course, if you're familiar with bingo, all you have to do is just make a line. It could be vertical, horizontal, diagonal, any kind of line. And to fill out each of those little spaces, you have to collect either
me
an item
han
or
hecho un
an
juego
enemy
de
to fill
bingo.
in that space. Sometimes there's multiple of an item, sometimes there's not. But if you take a look at the two cards in the bottom and the middle, you'll notice that there are the same items, but they are placed differently on each of our bingo cards. And I'm not as good at this mode as Corey, so I'm gonna focus a little bit, craft my strategy of what I want to focus on first, and
Yeah, I can talk a
Vale,
little bit
básicamente lo
about
que yo
what's going
deduzco
on
es que
right
tiene
now,
que
since,
recolectar
we
los
start with
elementos y
only
hacer
5
una
Pikmin by
línea.
default. Of course,
Sin
you can
embargo, el
customize
otro
that,
tiene
but
también que
because we
coger los
start with
elementos para
5,
hacer una línea.
you're going to want to create a larger Pikmin squad as quickly as you can, because the more Pikmin that you have in your squad, the more that you're able to accomplish, and the more that you're able to divide tasks if you need to divide tasks like building a bridge or sending some to one area and some to another. JC pushed the minus button there to pull up the map, which either player can do. If you're ever not sure where a specific item on the bingo board that you want to collect
Vale.
is, it's simple as pulling up that map to say, oh, I need to get an orange. Then
Oye,
where's
pues
the
le
orange on the
añadió
map? And then
las
get that, 'cause
cositas
that's what I need
suficientes,
to
¿no?
complete
Para
the bingo
volverlo a
card.
vender.
I
Esto
think
me
what you're
hace
gonna see
creer
JC
que
and
para el
I,
año que viene tiene
doing
algo
first is
especial
both growing
para el
our squads,
aniversario.
and then you see that we both got bridge tiles on the sides of our map as well. So we've been collecting some of those bridge tiles to build a bridge so we can cross the water.
And there's a lot of deep strategy in here too. While Corey's talking, I'm actually thinking about a couple things. Like, for example, taking a look at the bingo card that I have and actually targeting the corners. If I target the corners, which I probably shouldn't have said that out loud, but you wouldn't normally. If you target corners, that means you have with one item, you're able to get like a horizontal, vertical, and diagonal line all at the same time.
Sure. You got that?
Yeah, absolutely. And just
Oh, why are
because
you
I
coming
want
into my base? Oh, JC. So that is a good point to show that, yeah, you can go into each other's bases. And JC threw some Pikmin towards me, which started, they kind of just start like thwacking at my head, which is really annoying. But very effective.
Lo que
and
yo
I
no
have
sé
to
si
use
vale
the
las
control
líneas
stick to shake
diagonales,
them
creo
off.
que no.
My Pikmin can defeat JC's Pikmin, which is nice, but if our Pikmin do encounter each other, they will want to...
I just saw one of my Pikmin get slapped by yours, and
oh, did they fight each other a little
yeah,
bit?
actually it's on me now, but don't worry, the songs will be
Ah,
sung
mira,
of
está
you, my
curioso el
friend.
tema de la hojita. Uno
Yeah,
tiene
that's
la
right.
hojita
Okay.
rosa y el otro azul. Está mono.
Okay, let's,
Qué
You
bueno.
see that
Numbers.
JC has an item actually from a roulette
I
that he
do.
has, which
Me
is
pido
a,
rosa furcia.
triple rocks, which he is able to use and drop on me. So I actually have to be really careful here.
I'm being very quiet about it. And now he just, alright, he pointed it out, so that's fine. Okay, gotta move,
¿Estaba en el otro? Vale, vale.
And again, yeah, you do want to sometimes be aware of what your opponent's up to in this game,
Okay, so that's fine. Okay,
because they can be. JC can get pretty crafty at times.
alright. I'm gonna take a little detour here, and I'm gonna start
Okay, I'm not
strategizing by pulling some of these Pikmin I
This
found
guy.
that are my color, but they are in the water. So now I'm gonna try and get some of these. I'm gonna grab these blue ones.
Let's get you in the water. Yeah. Oh. I tried to lure your red Pikmin in the water.
No,
See if they would follow
stay
me.
away from my babies.
Okay. Let's,
I'll take
Vaya tela, ¿no?
so this is the first time I'm finding a cherry
whoops.
item, which
That's probably
again, these cherries give me
Sorry.
a free spin on the item roulette, which can often change the tides of battle. So I'm wanting to get as many of these cherries as possible. Back to my base. All right, I've got a rock. So my cherry got me a free
Oh, this is
bomb
actually
rock,
not good.
which I can throw a Pikmin at this
oh.
rock, and now I've got a rock, a bomb rock basically. So if I throw that bomb rock at a, let's just throw it in an enemy right now. Oh, he woke
Qué
up
bueno.
and got out of there. Oh man, that was kind of a waste.
Let me see if I can actually.
We can use electricity
Oh,
to just sort
jerk.
of be annoying to JC there and temporarily disable him. Another item that I picked up through that I got from my cherry is sort of a free spin on the item roulette, which is this golden object, which if I use it will fill up a spot on my bingo card randomly, which looked like was an apple.
Oh no, it's the water. It's the water. It's the water. No.
All right.
Okay. I
Think this guy here. Really thinking he's in
I
charge.
need
Leave
to
him
find
alone.
it.
Yo creo que ya van a cortar porque llevan casi media hora con el Pikmin.
So I need 2. I see the line that I want, but I'm. Oh no! That was a direct hit. Oh my gosh! You got me at like the right time. I have one.
Oh, I was
I have
staring at your
one
screen. I'm
Pikmin.
sorry.
I am down to one single Pikmin. If I win this map,
Oh man.
JC will never live it down.
Me están llamando al teléfono.
Dude, yeah, if I won't.
He got me
I
sleeping,
won't.
and I have one Pikmin. I wish
Let's see if I can actually just.
I had.
Oh,
more
I
than
really
one.
shouldn't do this though.
I need.
Dude, these
To
guys are
get
gonna
more
get so
Pikmin.
eaten.
Oh man.
If I get distracted, maybe. Let it toss. It's fine.
I just.
Oh, it's still shaking so much. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh! Come on! I need a cherry.
Okay, dude, if I could just pick up, where was that? I really shouldn't be checking this right now, but oh, that's right. All the enemies actually show up as those green, green flashing dots. So I'm actually trying to find this
There we go.
guy.
Okay. Whew, the long battle.
Go, 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 go. Oh,
Me and my
blue
buddy.
ones.
You're my boy,
Where are my
Blue.
blues? Did we just say blue at the same time?
Oh, that was exactly what I needed. Okay. Phew. So the item that I just got was a 10 free Pikmin, basically, which sprout at my base.
Come on. Come on, this will work. This will work.
But I need way more. JC looks like he just needs the red Bulborb and the red Marble, which are both
You mean
en
like these
route.
two?
Yes. And I don't think I'm going to have enough Pikmin to...
Oh, please
Get
tell me
you.
this is happening.
Nice.
Oh, this is so
Qué
good.
fastidio, me han llamado
Oh,
del
my
tema
God,
de
I'm so excited.
círculo de lectores, pero es que claro, no puedo decir que no porque es para devolverme un dinero que debía, porque cerraron y demás.
I was about to defeat both Bulborbs that I needed, but that rock came down at just the inopportune moment.
Qué
And I had just
fallo,
kind
¿no?
of forgotten that JC still had that item. So
Yeah, I
well
was actually-
done. You used it at exactly the right time.
This feels so good,
Um,
guys. Okay.
JC feels way too good right now, so we're going to play one more game. This one is going to be over in probably 2 minutes because I have way more incentive now to not take it easy. I'm not saying I was taking it easy last time, but
That felt so good.
this
Oh my
is
God.
a
Y en parte
much
me da un poquito
smaller
miedo que
stage,
pueda ser una
so JC
estafa,
and
voy
I
a
are
comprobarlo,
probably
pero
going
vamos.
to come to a skirmish much quicker than we did in the last game. So there's really less of an opportunity to make mistakes here. There's also just
Que
a
claro,
lot
Planeta
of,
cerró.
again, the map is small, so we want to be acting very quickly with our moves.
Yep. And Corey, again, because Corey pointed out that the map is really small, you're probably going to see us get into some pretty heated.
Yeah, the
pretty heated battles real
the
quick.
only thing in between us is that really this orange Bulborb enemy that you kind of see here. That's sort of harassing me at my base.
Sí,
right
se está
now.
haciendo muy difícil,
So,
pero ahora
other
tengo
than
que ir.
that,
Cuando llamen a la puerta
we
tengo
can
que
just sort
bajar.
of waltz into each other's bases.
Which scares me because we're so close. All right. What if I start just?
Oye, que 50 euros son un juego, básicamente.
Oh,
O
it's a
sea
big
que
one. I didn't see
si
it.
recupero
Oh,
ese dinero, pues mira, bienvenido sea.
Oh, man.
No.
Es que si lo recupero es que está
no,
bien.
This is bad. This is bad. All bad. so many. The sound of dying Pikmin. Okay, so I need to be smart about this here. Let's just do this.
Bueno, todavía no llama, voy a esperar.
Okay. So I'll take that back, get some numbers.
Qué fastidio perderme el directo. Perdonadme un momentito, ¿vale? Me ausento. No voy a cortar ni nada, pero me ausento un
Oh
momento.
man, these Bulborgs are just hungry and wow, I do not like that they're on my side of the map right now. It's almost as if you sent them over here, but I know you didn't.
I did not. Speaking of
Es
something.
que claro, al no sonarme el número de teléfono en el móvil.
You. Oh my gosh.
So it's only nice
No.
to give gifts that I gave JC the gift of the same bomb rocks that he sent me earlier.
I wonder if that actually worked out in my favor, because at least he's not seeing that I'm actually trying to steal one of the only things on the map that exists, which is a golden strawberry.
Nope, not
No,
seeing
no,
it
no, no,
totally
no,
at
no,
all.
no, no,
I have
you
no
are-
idea what you're doing.
No, that's,
Were
hold
you
on,
doing
cancel the block.
something?
Nope, we're good.
Golden strawberry, you said?
No, mine. I have numbers. No.
Qué rápido lo está
All I need
haciendo,
now
¿no?
is a red strawberry, which it looks like is right behind my base, and so as long as our... Oh, wow. Yeah, so I
Fight.
can give up. I don't need to worry about the golden strawberry because I've got my
He's got the other one. Ah.
the red, delicious sunseed berry for the
Vale,
quick bingo.
qué
I
rápido,
think that was a
¿no?
little over 2 minutes, so...
That was
I
a little
will-
over. That was a speed. That was like a mercy win right
Voy a
there.
esperar.
It gets
Ending
really
it quickly.
competitive playing
Ugh.
Bingo Battle. As you can see from a little bit of a taste, we absolutely love this mode. But really all the modes offer a little bit of a different type of gameplay. So we hope you're looking forward to checking out Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Be
Pues
on
está
the
muy
lookout
chula,
for
Radical.
an eShop demo
Es
that
más
will
lento.
include save data transfer to the full game. And if you complete the eShop
Hay
demo,
demo.
defeat the last boss in the demo, you'll be able to start the full game with Ultra Spicy mode if you'd like that extra challenge. So again, thanks for checking out a little bit of Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Don't forget the game itself comes out on October 30th.
Awesome. Thanks, Corey. Again, really
Al
appreciate
final
it.
este mes
Thanks
sale.
for
Ve lo
letting
que
me
yo
have
digo,
that
van a salir
moment,
muchos lanzamientos.
'cause
Este lo,
that
por
does
ahora
not
voy a
happen
pasar.
often. And again, I can't wait to play some more Bingo Battle with you, in October. So, coming up next, obviously, is... I'm waiting for this too, which is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity.
Y me
So,
lo voy a
over
perder.
to
Me han
you, Kay.
llamado. Joder.
Thanks, JC. Thanks, Corey. Wow, Pikmin looks like a lot of fun. Hi, everyone. I'm Kay from Nintendo Treehouse, and I've got my colleagues Chico and Kendra here with me. Before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge that we are doing this remotely. So there might be some technical limitations, but we're asking for your patience and your understanding as we work as hard as we can to bring you an amazing stream. So today we're going to take a look at Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, which takes place 100 years before Breath of the Wild and tells the story of the Great Calamity and the events leading up to it, which really can only be told through the 1 versus 1,000 action of a Warriors game. We'll start off with a first look at Urbosa. I'm so excited. Oh, Chico, are you ready?
Van a ver Urubosa, no.
Yes, I am. So
Let's get started.
I'm playing. I
Joder.
know. I'm playing as Urbosa right now, as you can see, and I'm actually inside the Deluxe account right now. And then it is a Hyrule Warriors game, so you will be using X and Y button to do weak and strong attack, and then also A. Oh wait. Iga must is coming.
Qué pasada, ¿no?
Right now, the Deluxe town is under attack by Iga clan. But I don't want to talk about why they're here. But the objective is I have to actually defeat all 3 Iga Blade Masters. So to do that, in addition to the usual Hyrule Warriors action, I have to use Rune to counterattack. And I can use, I just use the stasis now, as you can tell. But each character can use all 4 different runes in different occasions. So I need to
Está curioso la
focus
estructura
on
del mapa,
attacking him right now, so I'm gonna let Kay and
Lo que no sé es
Kendra
cómo
talk
habrán,
about
lo
what's
habrán
unique
limitado.
about
Supongo que con
Urbosa.
estructura.
Great.
Si os
thank
fijáis,
you
está ahí
so
la
much,
ciudad,
Chico.
que es igual que el otro.
Urbosa's
Y las dos,
gameplay
3
is
salidas
really
representadas.
fun and exciting, and as you can see, it's focused on her ability to use an attack with lightning. She has
Me
unique
encanta el
ability
movimiento
to
de
charge up
Urbosa,
lightning, which is represented by
Está
the
muy chulo.
page at the top of the screen. And Yep, she's charging it right there. And once it's charged up, she can actually use the lightning in addition to her strong attacks to kind of strengthen those
atacado de
attacks and
sorpresa
do
ahí.
some really character specific
Una
stuff with
emboscada
it.
en toda regla.
She also uses
1, 2,
lightning
3,
in
4,
her
5, 6 corazones, ¿no?
weak
7.
point counters
Está
and in her
está
special
bastante
attacks.
al principio con 7 corazones.
And if Chico can get the timing right, after some of these big attacks where there's still some electricity lingering in the air, she can charge up her electricity super quick, which takes a lot of skill and a lot of timing, but it's very satisfying when you can pull it off.
¿Este te gusta más, no, Radical?
Okay, so I'm running
And
around
to-
in the town.
And I just wanted to add too, aside from the gameplay that you're seeing, well, first of all, oh wait, no,
Oh my gosh.
interrupting myself because there's a Korok.
There it is. It's so cute.
So clearly, Koroks are in the stages that you can find. But this is the first time that people get to play as Urbosa, which is already super awesome. And this area probably looks pretty familiar to some Breath of the Wild fans.
La verdad es que lo han recreado, es igual, o sea, toda esta zona es igual.
Pre-Calamity. But what I did want to say is fans can look forward to getting more backstory on these characters as well. You really get a good look at Urbosa's relationship to Zelda and also more information about Urbosa's relationship to Zelda's late mother. So if you're like me and you love to get to know the characters and get to know them in ways that you didn't get to in Breath of the Wild, this game is your opportunity to do that.
That's right. It's really, there's a lot to unpack in here and a lot to see, and it's very thrilling for fans of Breath of the Wild to be able to take a look, a more in-depth look at this time in the story.
Vamos a ver, esto es lo que me interesa. ¿Cómo vale, por zona. No se ve en estructura limitaciones.
Also a first look, very exciting. As you can see, she
Oh.
uses the runes as her main attacks, in addition to being able to use them just like everyone else. And she can create different combinations of runes to take out huge swarms of enemies. Oh my gosh. In a very unique way. It's
Me han llamado y no lo entiendo por qué tarda tanto.
so cool to see
true Chico
Zelda
fashion.
being able to take out these guys.
Pues está brutalísimo,
yeah, and
¿eh?
for me, anytime
Vale.
Zelda gets to, you get to play as Zelda and annihilate enemies as Zelda, it's pretty much a win for me.
Creo que
because
están llamando
Zelda
ya.
and a Zelda
Ahora
game.
vengo, ¿vale? Vosotros
Yeah.
seguid aquí un momentito. Han
Well, and
llamado.
she's
Ya.
really fun to play as in this one. Nice work. Nice work.
I'm just gonna go back to Rosa because she is my favorite. And
She's
I-
great.
I know Zelda is great, but yeah. Okay, so I
Urbosa's
have
also
to
great.
chase
But
after.
Urbosa.
Yes, definitely. I have to chase after the Iga one people, so I'm gonna go after that to the location I'm told to go. There looks like there's a lot of people here.
And for people who are new to the Warriors series, as you can see, there are prompts on the screen that help guide you through the process of the gameplay and the action. But you also can turn those off if you want to.
So I'm at this location, and it looks like my objective is to defeat the enemies with loud attack. So I think I need to do. Oh, I can't use it right now, but I will wait till my rune fills up first. But
Make some noise,
okay,
Chico.
so I'm going
Do
I'll
it.
do that. Hold on. These guys are loud.
This guy's really getting in your way. So as you can see, when you use the Sheikah runes, there is a little bit of a wait time for it to charge back up before you can use it again, which is very similar to how it worked in Breath of the Wild. Oh man, that was a gorgeous takeout right there. And the
So I
reason
guess I
for
did that.
using these loud attacks was to call forth a certain familiar monster. And there he is. Oh man.
You sure it's not a lady though?
I think he's beautiful.
Yeah, he's too scary, and he's coming after me, so I don't think I want to do this. Bye-bye.
No, let's go ahead and like
That's it.
let's escape
Done.
to the main menu while we can.
Okay.
So we're gonna go back to the world map and show some of the gameplay between battles, leveling up characters, strengthening weapons, and unlocking things. There it is, a very familiar map of Hyrule. Chico, do you want to tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, so if you ever play, like original Hyrule Warriors game or maybe different Warriors game, you might be familiar with how the menu looked like. You will go from chapter 1 to 3 type thing. But this one, you actually go through different chapters and locations using the map of Hyrule from the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And when I first saw this, I was literally screaming because it was so gorgeous and I just loved it. And because it's a Hyrule Warriors game, when you're playing the stages, you collect a lot of different type of materials. So using those materials, you can unlock different locations on the map, like the stables, other training grounds, and even like different dishes you can cook type thing. So one of the things I wanted to show is actually here, blacksmith. So it is a Hyrule Warriors game, so you will be collecting a lot of different weapons while you are in the stage. Not like Breath of the Wild, you don't the weapons do not break during the stage, but you can use these weapons you collected to strengthen your primary use weapon. So right now I'm using this sword, but there's other different type of weapons I can get and different way to use it. So I want to use my sledgehammer, iron sledgehammer, and fuse them with all the materials I got so far.
With the level
And
1
I think
soup ladle that you will not neglect. Don't you dare.
Okay, so
Okay. Whew. I was worried.
I shouldn't. It's okay. It's okay.
No, use it.
Okay, so
Yes, it's okay.
you can use up to 5 different weapons, and you can strengthen. You of course have to use the rupees, so make sure you collect the rupees when you are in the stage 2. And now I have my sledgehammer leveled up to 5, so I can use that for next battle if I want to. Another thing is the materials you collected. You can make the dish. So let's see, this one is ready. So spurred fish dish. And you need the materials 5 fish, so I have that trout. So now I love that dish, so I can earn the recipe for chili fish skewer.
Right, and the recipes can be used to give your characters a little bit of a buff before you go into battle. And there are a bunch of different types that have different effects, so it's pretty fun to collect them and see what they do. Yep,
And
they
then,
also have
by defeating the... Oh, go ahead.
yeah, so by defeating monsters and getting those materials, you can also turn them into these other quests, which you can use to unlock bonus combos or extra health or other such things. But the thing I really like about these is that they have little stories that go along with them. Little glimpses into the characters' lives between battles during this war. The one that we just did, for example, is about a young child in Hateno village who wants to build a monster dummy so that they can practice using a two-handed sword. And so Link actually brings the materials to make the dummy, creates this dummy, helps him build it, and then they train together. And that's how Link is able to come up with an extra move for his two-handed sword. And I love it because Link's from Hateno village. So it's a very cute glimpse into his life.
Yeah, the world building
So,
is really excellent in this game.
Yeah, we just strengthened this 200. I mean, sledgehammer is basically a 200 sword type. So I'm going into the training mission where I can actually use this sledgehammer to showcase how the 200 sword or 200 weapon will work in this game. And so I changed my weapon, and I guess I can change my tire.
Yeah, you can
I'll be
unlock different pieces of armor as you progress through the game, and you can equip or, I guess, unequip them and dress him up however you want.
You look nice.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
This is
Okay, and
Link's,
also
training attire.
And we also, this is the chili fish skewer we just got from the recipe location, so I can use that.
Right, and every character will react differently to the dishes that you cook for them. And some characters even have favorite dishes, and they'll say something different when you give them their favorite dish. So it's a lot of fun to try out a bunch of different recipes and see which your characters prefer.
Yeah, and if you watch the TGS live stream, you might have seen the cutscene where it's showing the tower actually raising from the ground. And that tower is actually going to be a base for Link whenever he goes to the next mission. So I think you just saw him kind of like warping from the tower to that new location where I'm going to be showcasing the 200 sword training mission.
Right.
Without
so
a
yeah,
shirt on.
it is a training mission without
Hey, don't judge me.
I mean,
there's no
the two-handed
judgment.
sword is a lot of
If
work.
anything, I just feel bad for Link.
No, you know, he
I guess
works
there's
up
less
quite a
fabric to
sweat
get in the
to
way
do
while
nothing
he's
around.
fighting.
Yeah, so as you can see, this is a training level, so you're fighting against a lot of Hyrulean soldiers, and using the two-handed sword, which, you know, aesthetically does look a lot like how it was used in Breath of the Wild. In this game, it's slower but more powerful than the one-handed sword. But the fun thing about it is that he can use the unique action to strengthen his strong attacks. In exchange, he takes a little bit of temporary damage, like that. And in order to heal that temporary damage, you can press X to consume a meal in the middle of battle. I love the animation for him eating.
Yeah, let's
I love the
Chico.
animation for him eating.
Let's
Yeah,
get near
if
some
she'll do it
enemies.
for us.
Sorry. I was focused
Oh,
on
get near some enemies. Oh, no, not quite. Okay, so, but one of those eating animations is highly aggressive, and if Chico does it near some enemies, then we will see what happens. And hopefully we'll get an opportunity to show you that because I love it.
Nom nom nom.
Yeah! Okay, yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Aggressive food eating
I
with
love it.
shockwave blast, sending the soldiers flying.
I love that they included that in this game as part of the actual fighting style for the two-handed sword. I think it's a great homage to Breath of the Wild and people who played it like I did, which is to say having a stockpile of apples or something in my inventory so I could chow down when I'm being blown back by a strong attack that did lots of damage.
You can aggressively eat your apples and send those soldiers
Aggressively eat your apples. It's the only way to eat apples in this game.
If you burn
All right, how many
apples,
KOs do
you
we
can
have?
actually get grilled apples too.
Oh yeah.
So I have to kill
All right.
170 more.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Oh,
We're more
no,
than
no.
halfway.
I'd also like to point out that this location is very familiar. It appeared as ruins in Breath of the Wild, but now, before the Calamity, it's in its heyday. And it's very cool to see what it looked like when it before it got destroyed.
Yeah, and
Nice
Chico,
one,
maybe you can
Chico.
show us some lightning rod action.
What? Hold on.
Oh yeah, we did get to see the ice rod
This
before.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Poor soldiers. Wait,
You can do it. So, as you can see, what she's timing her attacks for when that weak point gauge comes out. The big strategy against these stronger enemies is to cut down that weak point gauge and create an opening so you can do a counter attack, which can be very powerful.
Okay.
Nice
A
one.
little bit more.
I need a big group of soldiers to beat that scene.
I love the two-handed sword so much. I think it's my favorite. It's so satisfying, you know, to just slam through all of these enemies, you know, these thousands and thousands of enemies. And also to like take a little break to have a snack here and then. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Oh, this is my favorite one.
I'm hoping we can.
I know your favorite
show
is the
show some
the
flurry
little-
rush too. Oh, of course.
I'm trying! I suck at this thing!
No, you
What?
don't.
No, you don't. You're doing great. You're almost there.
You need to find another one of those captains.
Okay. No, he's not there. Yeah, done.
Nice.
Oh,
There we go.
Oh yeah, look, it's Daruk.
He's my favorite. It's cool. He's very heavy moving character too. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
He moves surprisingly quickly for someone of his size, though, I have to say.
Yeah. What?
Oh,
No!
you can do it, Chico. I believe in you.
Keep your own size. I mean, like he's like 2 times
Oh my
bigger than me.
goodness.
Oh my gosh. That looks like a little bit of rough play for training.
They take their training very seriously.
Nice work.
Ah! Take
Nice
Yeah,
work.
wow.
Man, you made very quick
You
work
took
of
them out really
Daruk. Good
fast.
job.
Yeah, you did.
All right, let's cut away from this for a second because we have one other thing we'd like to show you. Chico's got to set it up though. I love Daruk. He's so great. He's such a
Well, and it's really
fun character.
Yeah, and it's cool to see all the various characters, you know, that we know and love from Breath of the Wild, but seeing them in this different setting and seeing all of their special moves and how those differ. I do really like seeing that, and I'm excited for what we're about to show you as well, you the viewers.
Yeah, it's great. It's an amazing thing that they've done with this game to bring us into this era, you know, pre-Calamity, and show us all these characters and show us the intricacies of how they interact and how they perform in battle. It's stuff that I think personally, as a fan of Breath of the Wild, I wished for so hard, was the chance to be able to see these guys in their prime. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and not to bring the soup ladle up too much, but I do want to say I love that they included the soup ladle. You know, that they're bringing it back, and we see those same touches from Breath of the Wild in this game. And Chico mentioned that the weapons aren't breakable, so you really could, you know, equip that soup ladle if you wanted a serious challenge. You could fight with the soup ladle.
Serious.
You could
you know,
use
yes,
weapons to
choose
make
your own
the soup
adventure.
ladle stronger. Yeah. I love it. I love that when you use the soup ladle, you got the pot lid as a shield too. All right, so
Totally.
we're looking at Impa now.
Yeah. So what I want to show is in the distance, but I need to take care of these guys first because these guys is in my
Nice.
way. Okay. Ah!
So obviously, this is a new depiction of Impa that we're seeing here. but Chico is about to show us just what Impa is capable of in the gameplay.
I love her. I love Impa so much. I think she's so much fun to play. She's so quick, and she has these different jutsu attacks that she uses, like the summoning of the frog and the creation of foam.
Let's go.
You did. That was an impressive use of the electric rod, I have to say. And here we have a Hinox. I love it. So yeah, as I was saying, Impa's gameplay, being able to absorb those symbols to create the clones and then strengthen the strong attack when she has all of her clones out is it's really fun.
A ver, ¿qué me he
Takes a lot
perdido?
of strategy and timing.
Lo siento mucho, ¿vale? Que me he perdido. ¡Hostia! ¿Y esto?
And you can see her
Uf, esto es muy avanzado en el juego, ¿no?
does differ from the other characters we've looked at today too. You can do it. So we discussed earlier the usage of
Son las que estás haciendo en el gameplay.
in order to create openings to counter strong enemies. And it's even more important that you do that when fighting these big monsters too, because if you get the timing right on these, just like that, you can create these great dramatic openings for yourself. And it really is vital that you get these weak point smashes in, because they do so much damage, and it can really make it easy to, or easier, I should say, to take these guys out.
To take out the poor Hinox that was just having a nap, minding his own business.
Vaya tela, ¿no?
I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, I would be grumpy too if I got woken up like that.
¿Está el micrófono encendido?
That's
Sí.
fair. Nice work,
Chico's
Chico.
making short work of this guy.
She really is.
I love that flying squirrel move.
Pues tiene muy buena pinta, ¿eh?
Maniacal laughter.
Ahora es que no sé lo que me he perdido en este trocito que está afuera.
Nice.
¡Wow! Ahí está la lió.
Alright,
Vale,
I
pero
think
no ha hecho el
I'm
combo
right.
completo
Time's
como hemos
up
visto en
left
el
for
otro vídeo.
today. Let's stop beating up on this poor Hinox and let him go back to his nap. Alright. Thanks everyone for tuning in. This
¿Ya?
is Hyrule
Joder, me lo he
Warriors Age of
perdido.
Calamity, which
Lo siento
releases
mucho.
Friday, November 20th. We hope you enjoyed it. We sure did. And have a great day.
A ver, ¿tiene algún anuncio más o no? No, pues nada. No tiene ningún anuncio más. Ay, gracias por mirar Treehouse. Vamos a ver un poquito para atrás, a ver qué me he perdido. No puedo porque ya me están llamando abajo. Pues tampoco ha sido tanto, ¿no? Han enseñado esto, algo de equipo, ¿no? Supongo. Pantalla de carga y ya después lo de Inox este gigante, ¿no? Aquí supongo que esto que es pantalla de... Claro, el mapa. Oh. Joder, la misión, o sea que hay como un mapa de campaña, ¿no?
I think he's beautiful.
Things I wanted to show is actually here.
Madre mía, qué guapo,
So
¿no?
it is a Hyrule Warriors
Vale,
game, so
tenemos
you
para
will
hacer
be
cosas.
collecting a lot of different weapons while you are in the stage.
Vale.
Not like Breath of the Wild.
Pues esto tiene muy buena pinta. Voy a tener que ir porque me están llamando abajo y se ha salido, ¿vale? Así que, nada, gente, muchísimas gracias por acompañarme y ya veo cómo arreglo el estropicio de este directo. Tiene muy buena pinta, bueno, lo añadió a Pikmin, está chulo y después, obviamente, toda la parte esta de Zelda, pues seguramente la grabé aparte. La grabé aparte, coño, sole. Pues nada, con el martillaco ahí, qué bueno. Bueno, gente, muchísimas gracias por verme y ya está. El siguiente directo nos vemos, ¿vale? Venga, un abrazo muy fuerte.
It's slower, but